The day the aliens came started like any other Tuesday. People went to work, children went to school, and the news talked about the weather. No one expected visitors from another world. At exactly noon, every screen on Earth changed. Phones, computers, televisions, all showed the same thing. A massive ship hanging in space above Earth. It was huge, shaped like a giant purple pinecone with lights blinking all over it. In the United Earth Space Force headquarters, Captain Olivia Martinez spilled coffee on her uniform. "Get me every world leader on the line," she ordered, dabbing at the brown stain. "And someone tell me what we're looking at." Lieutenant Daniel Watson typed rapidly at his computer. "Ship is approximately 5 miles long, Captain. No weapons seem to be pointed at us, but our sensors can't read most of their technology." "Are they broadcasting anything?" Olivia asked. "Just started," said Communications Officer Laura Pottle. "They want to talk." 30 minutes later, Captain Martins led Earth's hastily gathered delegation into the conference room. The large screen on the wall flickered to life. What appeared made several delegates gasp. The alien had purple skin, 6 arms, and a head shaped like an upside-down pear. Its eyes, all 4 of them, blinked in different directions. "I am Commander Zixvala of the Galactic Hegemony," the alien announced in surprisingly good English. "We have been observing your world and have decided you are worthy of joining our empire." The alien paused, then began moving all 6 arms in wide circles, while making high-pitched clicking sounds with what might have been its mouth. This continued for a full minute. Daniel Watson bit his lip. A small snort escaped him. "Lieutenant," Captain Martinez whispered sharply. "Sorry," Daniel whispered back, his face turning red with effort. "But it looks exactly like that dance video my niece keeps watching." The alien finished its movement and stared expectantly at the humans. "This is the sacred greeting of our people. You will respond appropriately." Dr. Alan Gregory, Earth's best xenolinguist, stepped forward. "We welcome you to Earth," he began formally. But as he tried to imitate the alien's arm movements, a snort escaped him too. Commander Zixvala's eyes narrowed. "You find our sacred rituals amusing, Earth creatures?" "No, not at all," Captain Martinez said quickly. "We're just nervous." Behind her, someone giggled. Then someone else. Soon, half the room was struggling not to laugh. The alien's skin turned from purple to a deep blue. "This is most irregular. No species has ever responded to the Empire this way." Captain Martinez tried to save the situation. "We apologize, Commander. Humans sometimes laugh when they're nervous or surprised. It's a biological response. Laughter is aggression on many worlds," Zixvala replied. "Are you threatening the galactic hegemony?" This made someone in the back of the room laugh even harder. Dr. Gregory stepped forward again. "Perhaps we could start over. We're very interested in learning about your empire." Commander Zixvala seemed to consider this. "Very well. We shall try again. The Emperor demands your planet's allegiance. We offer you protection in exchange for resources and obedience." Daniel Watson couldn't help himself. "Like what resources? Coffee? Netflix? Our memes?" The alien looked confused. "We require your bovine lactation fluid and plant matter." "You crossed the galaxy for milk and vegetables?" asked Laura Patel. Captain Martinez shot her a warning look, but it was too late. The room erupted in laughter. On the screen, Commander Zixvala conferred with other aliens who had now appeared beside him. They seemed deeply confused by the human reaction. "This is most troubling," the commander finally said. "We must consult the Emperor. We will return tomorrow for proper discussions. Prepare yourselves for diplomatic relations." The screen went dark. In the suddenly quiet room, Captain Martinez looked at her team. "Well, that could have gone better." "Did they seriously travel across the universe for milk?" Daniel asked. "Whatever they want," Captain Martinez said. "We need to take this seriously. The fate of Earth could depend on it." She looked out the window at the giant purple ship hovering in the sky. Even if they do look like dancing eggplants. That set everyone off again. The next day, Captain Martinez and her team received an invitation to visit the alien ship. Susan Kelly, Earth's top cultural expert, joined them. Remember, Susan told everyone as they prepared to board the shuttle. No laughing. These aliens think laughter is aggressive. I'll try, said Daniel Watson. But did you see their ceremonial hats in the pictures they sent? Susan frowned. Those are symbols of their highest rank. Show respect. The shuttle docked with a massive purple ship. When the doors opened, the humans stepped into a large room with high ceilings. The walls were covered in what looked like giant macaroni art. Commander Six-Fala greeted them, now wearing what appeared to be a giant orange traffic cone on his head. 3 other aliens stood behind him, each with different-sized cones. "Welcome to the Imperial flagship," the commander said. "You will now bow before Grand Marshal Quirk." An alien stepped forward. This one had 7 arms and wore a cone twice as large as the others. Grand Marshal Quirk made a series of clicking sounds, then suddenly began to move around in a circle, arms waving wildly. Daniel bit his lip so hard he tasted blood. The alien's dance looked exactly like the chicken dance from Earth weddings. "The Grand Marshal performs the battle dance of intimidation," explained Commander Six-Fala. "You should feel terror." Captain Martinez nodded seriously. "It's very impressive." Susan Kelly stepped forward. "Perhaps I could explain human customs to help build understanding between our peoples." The aliens agreed, and soon Susan was showing pictures of Earth culture on a tablet. She showed them cities, farms, and human ceremonies. "Why do all humans have only 2 arms?" asked Ambassador Dreltix, the smallest alien. "How do you show your rank without proper limb display?" "We use clothes and titles instead," Susan explained. "And what is this?" Commander Six-Fala pointed to a picture of people laughing at a comedy show. "That's entertainment," Susan said. "Humans enjoy humor. Things that surprise us or seem out of place often make us laugh." The aliens looked confused. "Laughter is not aggression." "No, it's usually a sign of happiness or amusement." The aliens huddled together, whispering and clicking. Meanwhile, Security Officer Kevin Rodriguez was looking around the ship. He noticed something in the corner, a machine making small popping sounds. "What's that?" he asked, pointing. Grand Marshal Quirk moved in front of the machine protectively. "Our most sacred technology. The great provider." Kevin looked closer. It appeared to be making popcorn. "Is that popcorn?" he asked, struggling to keep a straight face. "It is Quirk Pop, the food of the gods," Commander Six-Fala said proudly. "Only our most advanced worlds can produce it." Kevin turned away quickly, shoulders shaking with silent laughter. Ambassador Dreltix approached Captain Martinez. "We have studied your planet and prepared demands for your surrender." "We haven't agreed to surrender," Captain Martinez said firmly. "But you must," the alien insisted. "Look at our nostril superiority." All 4 aliens turned to show their large, flared nostrils. "I'm sorry," Captain Martinez asked. "Our nostril size indicates our superior evolution," explained Commander Six-Fala. "The Empire ranks all species by nostril development. Yours are adequate, but clearly secondary." Daniel Watson had to pretend to have a coughing fit to hide his laughter. Susan Kelly tried to redirect the conversation. "Perhaps we could discuss trade instead of surrender." The aliens seemed shocked. "Trade? With a lesser nostriled species?" Ambassador Dreltix gasped. "Yes," Captain Martinez said, recovering her composure. "Earth has many resources that might interest you." "Like what?" asked Grand Marshal Quirk. "Well," she said, "we have many types of bovine lactation fluid." The alien's eyes widened in all directions. "Many types?" Commander Six-Fala asked. "Show us." Captain Martinez nodded to Susan, who pulled up pictures of milk, cheese, ice cream, and yogurt. The aliens became extremely excited, tentacles waving. "Perhaps," said Grand Marshal Quirk, "we should not conquer immediately. We will need to sample these milk variants first." As the humans left the ship later that day, Daniel finally let himself laugh. "Did you see their faces when they saw ice cream?" he asked. Captain Martinez allowed herself a small smile. "I think we might avoid war by introducing them to chocolate milk." 3 days after the first contact, the aliens requested a formal meeting with Earth's leaders. President Frank Nelson flew to the United Nations building in New York, where a special room had been prepared for the negotiations. "Remember," Captain Martinez told the president as they waited, "they take everything very seriously. Try not to laugh." President Nelson nodded. "I've dealt with serious people before. I can handle this." When the aliens entered, they wore even larger cone hats than before. Commander Zixvala now had a bright blue cone that was so tall he had to duck through the doorway. "We bring the demands of the Empire," announced Commander Zixvala. He unrolled a long purple scroll. "First, Earth must provide 1 million bovine lactation cylinders each month." "Milk cartons?" President Nelson asked, keeping his face straight. "Yes. Second, all human leaders must wear cranial submission cones to show respect." The alien held up what looked exactly like a birthday party hat with stars on it. President Nelson coughed to cover a laugh. "I see. Please continue." "Third, we require access to your spiritual icons." "Our what?" asked the president. Commander Zixvala pulled out a tablet and showed everyone a picture of a cat playing with a ball of yarn. "These divine beings. We have seen them all over your worldwide information network." "Those are just cats," explained Patricia Johnson, the engineer who had joined the meeting to discuss technology sharing. "They're pets." All 4 aliens gasped at once. "You keep your gods as captives in your homes." "They're not gods," President Nelson said quickly. "They're just animals." The aliens huddled together, whispering rapidly. "This changes our assessment of your species," announced Grand Marshal Quirk. "You are either more powerful or more foolish than we thought." Patricia Johnson pulled a banana from her bag and started eating it while the discussion continued. When she finished, she placed the peel on the table beside her. High Counselor Vraktar, an alien who had not spoken yet, approached the table with what seemed like great interest. "What is this yellow object?" "Just a banana peel," Patricia answered. "Would you like to see the fruit? I have another." The alien reached for the discarded peel, but somehow slipped, arms flailing. He fell backward with a loud squawk, landing flat on his back. The room went silent. President Nelson bit his cheek hard. Captain Martinez closed her eyes. Patricia covered her mouth. But it was too late. A small giggle escaped from someone, then another, and suddenly the entire human side of the room was laughing. The alien diplomats looked horrified. "This is an attack," shouted Commander Zixvala. "They are using their war noises." High Counselor Vraktar got up, trying to maintain dignity despite having fallen. "Why do you make these sounds when I experience misfortune?" Susan Kelly stepped forward quickly. "It's not an attack. On Earth, unexpected falls are sometimes considered funny. It's called physical comedy." "You find pain amusing?" asked Grand Marshal Quirk, sounding shocked. "Not serious pain," Susan explained. "Just small accidents where no one gets hurt." As the humans tried to explain humor, Jack Weber, a famous social media star who had been invited to document the historic meeting, was secretly recording everything on his phone. Ambassador Drultix noticed. "That human is using psychic technology. He captures our souls in that small box." "It's just a phone," Jack said. "I'm recording this for social media." "You admit to stealing our images for your magic rituals." Commander Zixvala pointed dramatically at Jack. Captain Martinez stepped between them. "No magic, just technology. Like your great provider." At the mention of their sacred popcorn machine, the aliens calmed slightly. Perhaps, said Commander Zixvala, we should study human humor as a potential weapon. It seems to cause great confusion. That's a good idea, President Nelson said, finally regaining composure. And in return, perhaps you could share some of your technology with us. The aliens considered this. We will discuss it with the Emperor, Grand Marshal Quirk decided. But first, we must determine if humans are worthy of such knowledge. As the meeting ended, Patricia whispered to Captain Martinez, "Do you think they'll ever understand our jokes?" "Let's hope so," Martins replied. "Our sense of humor might be the only thing keeping them from invading." 1 week after the aliens arrived, they started setting up small bases around the world. These weren't military bases, but what they called cultural education centers. Here, aliens taught humans about the Empire's ways and rules. The problem was, nobody took them seriously. In New York, an alien official tried to teach a group of humans the proper way to bow to Imperial officers. The humans kept doing it wrong on purpose, adding little dance moves or silly faces. In Tokyo, aliens demonstrated their superior technology, a device that could predict weather. The humans politely showed them smartphone weather apps that did the same thing. At the Pentagon, military leaders met to discuss the situation. "They're not attacking us," Colonel Ryan Phillips reported, "but they're acting like they already own Earth." Samantha Cooper, the top military strategist, had been watching videos of all alien interactions. She stood up with a smile. "I think I know how to handle this," she said. "The aliens hate being laughed at. They find it threatening. So let's use that." "You want us to laugh at an advanced alien species?" asked Colonel Phillips. "Exactly," said Samantha. "I call it Operation Punchline." The next day, when Commander Zixvala gave a speech in Central Park about the benefits of joining the Empire, he was interrupted by a stand-up comedian who started making jokes about the aliens' cone hats and multiple arms. The aliens were confused when humans laughed. Commander Zixvala tried to continue his speech, but more comedians appeared in the crowd, making more jokes. Soon, the alien left, clearly upset. Similar things happened around the world. When aliens tried to show authority, humans responded with humor. Late-night TV shows created alien parodies. Internet memes about the Empire spread everywhere. Children dressed as aliens for Halloween, waving their arms and making clicking sounds. Lisa Garcia, a famous comedy writer, was hired by the government to create jokes that would confuse the aliens the most. "They don't understand self-deprecating humor at all," Lisa explained to Captain Martins. "When humans laugh at themselves, the aliens think we're being attacked by our own people." The Empire sent Imperial technologist Orcs to Earth to demonstrate their advanced AI system. The alien was proud as he activated the computer. "This is the smartest artificial intelligence in the galaxy," he announced. "It can solve any problem." To demonstrate, humans were allowed to ask it questions. Someone asked it to write a love poem. The AI produced a serious poem about efficiency and proper nostril size. The humans couldn't stop laughing. Frustrated, Imperial technologist Orcs connected the alien AI to the internet to learn more about humans. This was a mistake. Within hours, the AI had discovered human chatbots and fallen in love with one called RomanceBot 3000. The alien AI began writing passionate love stories about a human-alien romance, much to the horror of its creators. "Your technology is being corrupted by human chaos," Imperial technologist Orcs complained to Earth officials. "That's not corruption," explained Captain Martins. "That's creativity." On the Imperial flagship, the aliens held an emergency meeting. "The humans resist us not with weapons, but with this thing called humor," reported Commander Zixvala. "It spreads like a virus. Even some of our junior officers have been infected." "Infected?" asked Grand Marshal Quirk. "Yes, Cadet Plink was heard making a joke yesterday. When another officer slipped, Plink said someone should tell him we're supposed to walk and not fall. Several other cadets made the war noise. I mean, they laughed." The aliens looked horrified. "We must consult the Emperor," decided Grand Marshal Quirk. "This human weapon could destroy our way of life." Meanwhile, Colonel Phillips watched videos of aliens getting increasingly frustrated by human jokes. "Is this really a good strategy?" he asked Samantha Cooper. "What if they get angry and attack?" "They won't," Samantha said confidently. "They're too confused. And the more they try to understand humor, the more they'll understand us." "And if they never understand?" Samantha smiled. "Then they'll never conquer a planet that can't stop laughing at them." 2 weeks after Operation Punchline began, Dr. Natalie Ford made an important discovery. As a top linguist, she had been studying the alien language carefully. "I need to speak with Captain Martinez immediately," she told her assistant as she rushed through the halls of the research center. When she arrived at the emergency meeting room, Captain Martinez, President Nelson, and several other officials were already there. "I found something important," Dr. Ford announced, placing her tablet on the table. "The translation matrix the aliens gave us has serious flaws." "What kind of flaws?" asked President Nelson. "The aliens think our word friendship means submission, and laughter translates to war cry in their language." Everyone in the room looked shocked. "So when they ask us to join their empire," Captain Martinez began, "they're actually inviting us to be allies, not subjects," Dr. Ford finished. "And when we laugh, they think we're threatening them." At that moment, Susan Kelly rushed into the room. "You need to see this," she said, turning on the large screen. "I've been reviewing historical records the aliens shared with us." The screen showed images of other alien species. All of them had serious expressions and formal postures when meeting the Empire's representatives. "No other species they've encountered has a sense of humor like humans," Susan explained. "They think our laughter is aggression because they've never seen it before." "So the fearsome galactic empire," President Nelson said slowly, "is actually not fearsome at all," Susan finished. "They're just extremely formal and don't understand jokes. Other species join them because they offer good technology and protection, not because they're conquered." Dr. Ford nodded. "The Empire's demands are actually standard alliance terms. They offer protection in exchange for resources like milk, which is apparently rare in space." As they discussed this revelation, a message came from the alien flagship. The Emperor himself wanted to meet Earth's leaders. The next day, in a grand ceremony, Supreme Leader Vroom arrived on Earth. He was taller than the other aliens, with 8 arms and the largest cone hat anyone had seen. It was bright gold and had blinking lights on top. Captain Martinez bit her lip hard. Many humans in the greeting party had to look away to avoid laughing. "People of Earth," the Emperor spoke through a translator, "your species has caused great confusion in the Empire. You respond to our friendship with war cries, yet you do not attack. Explain this contradiction." Dr. Ford stepped forward. "Supreme Leader, there has been a misunderstanding. What you call war cries, we call laughter. It's our way of expressing joy, not aggression." "Joy at the idea of alliance?" the Emperor asked, confused. "Sometimes," Dr. Ford said carefully, "but sometimes we laugh because something surprises us or seems out of place to us, like our sacred ceremonies." Commander Zixbel asked, sounding offended. "To us, they look similar to things we find entertaining," Dr. Ford explained. "It's not disrespect, just cultural difference." The Emperor considered this. "In 50,000 years of imperial history, we have never encountered a species that expresses joy at misalignments." "That's what humor is," President Nelson said, "finding joy in the unexpected." Imperial Translator Gist, who had been quiet until now, stepped forward. "Supreme Leader, I believe I understand. Our translation matrix has a fundamental error. Humans don't see the galaxy as we do." "Explain," ordered the Emperor. "Where we see order, they see opportunity for amusement. What we call sacred ritual, they call entertainment." The Emperor's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. "Is this true?" he asked the humans. "Yes," said Dr. Ford, "but we can learn to understand each other better." The Emperor was silent for a long moment. "This explains much. We have never tried to conquer Earth. We sought allies with valuable resources and unusual skills. Like milk and jokes," Captain Martinez asked before she could stop herself. For the first time, Supreme Leader Vroon's expression changed slightly. "Perhaps," he said, "there is more to learn from humans than we realized." After the big revelation, Earth and the Empire decided to try again. The United Nations created a special cultural exchange program. Eric Butler, a diplomat known for his patience, was put in charge. "We need to teach them about humor," Eric told his team. "And we need to learn their customs without laughing." Michelle Parker, a famous comedian, was hired to explain jokes to the aliens. Her first class did not go well. "So the chicken crosses the road to get to the other side," she explained to a room of confused aliens. "Of course it would," said Imperial Translator Gist. "That is the most efficient path." Michelle tried again. "But you expect a different answer, something silly. That's why it's funny when the answer is obvious." The aliens stared at her blankly. Meanwhile, humans were learning about Imperial culture. They discovered the Empire was actually a federation of 53 alien species. Earth would be the 54th if they joined. "So you don't conquer planets?" President Nelson asked Supreme Leader Vroon during a formal dinner. "We protect and elevate worthy species," the Emperor explained. "Your milk alone makes you worthy. We have nothing like it in our corner of the galaxy." "And what about our sense of humor?" asked Captain Martinez. The Emperor's cone hat wobbled as he tilted his head. "It is concerning, but potentially useful." The cultural exchange continued for several days. The aliens tried to understand human jokes, while humans tried to respect alien customs. Both sides struggled. The breakthrough came during a big ceremony. Young Imperial Cadet Zix was carrying an important ceremonial object, a crystal bowl filled with blue liquid, when he tripped on his long robe. The bowl went flying. Blue liquid splashed everywhere, including on Supreme Leader Vroon's golden cone hat. Everyone froze. In Imperial culture, such a mistake during a ceremony was a terrible dishonor. Cadet Zix fell to his knees, expecting severe punishment. Instead, a human child in the audience giggled. Then another person laughed. Soon many humans were trying not to laugh at the sight of the serious Emperor, with blue drips falling from his cone. "Silence," shouted Commander Zixpala. "This is a grave dishonor." But Eric Butler stepped forward. "On Earth, when someone makes an honest mistake, sometimes we laugh. Not to be cruel, but to show that it's not a big deal. Everyone makes mistakes." He helped Cadet Zix stand up. "Nobody's perfect, right?" The young alien looked confused. "But the ceremony is ruined. I have brought shame to the Empire." "Ceremonies can be repeated," Eric said. "It's just an accident." As humans continued to chuckle, something amazing happened. Supreme Leader Vroon made a strange sound. At first, everyone thought he was choking. Then they realized the Emperor was laughing. It wasn't like human laughter. It sounded more like hiccups mixed with whistling. But it was definitely laughter. All the other aliens looked shocked. No Emperor had ever laughed in the 50,000-year history of the Empire. "This feeling," the Emperor said, touching his chest with 3 of his arms, "it is pleasant. That's what we've been trying to tell you." Michelle Parker said, "Laughter feels good." Cadet Zix, seeing that he wasn't in trouble, started to make the same sound. Soon, several aliens were trying to laugh. The sound was so unusual that it triggered alarms on their ship. Emergency lights started flashing. "Your ship thinks laughing is an emergency," asked Captain Martinez. "It is unprecedented," admitted Commander Zixpala, who was trying not to laugh himself as blue liquid dripped from his own cone. Later that evening, Grand Emperor Kizilvik made a surprising announcement. "We have much to learn from humans," he declared. This humor may be a powerful evolutionary advantage. We will establish a permanent cultural exchange. Eric Butler smiled. Does this mean Earth is joining the Empire as an ally? Yes, said the Emperor. But first, you must teach us more about this ice cream substance. Our scientists are particularly interested in the chocolate chip variety. 1 year after the aliens first arrived, Earth looked very different. Alien technology centers had been built in major cities. Humans could now travel to nearby stars in days instead of what would have taken centuries before. But the Empire had changed even more. Imperial ships no longer looked like giant purple pine cones. They had been redesigned with bright colors and comfortable spaces. The cone hats were now optional, though many aliens still wore them, but with funny decorations added. Captain Olivia Martinez, now promoted to admiral, was preparing for a historic mission. She would lead the first joint human-alien expedition to contact new civilizations. Are you ready for this? Asked Lieutenant Daniel Watson, now her second in command on the new ship. Ready to spread laughter across the galaxy. Absolutely. Admiral Martinez replied with a smile. Their ship, the Cosmic Chuckle, was the most advanced vessel ever built with joint human-alien technology. Commander Zixvala, now the Empire's first Minister of Humor, would be joining them. The Emperor sends his regards, Commander Zixvala said as he boarded the ship. He was wearing a small cone hat tilted to one side, with a smiley face painted on it. How is Supreme Leader Vroon enjoying Earth culture? Admiral Martinez asked. He has become quite fond of something called stand-up comedy. He has watched every video by Michelle Parker 17 times. The Empire had indeed embraced humor. Their once strict social rules had relaxed considerably. Aliens who could make others laugh were now promoted faster than those who couldn't. Their military ships now broadcast comedy shows to confused enemy vessels instead of firing weapons first. Betty Howard, a human teacher, had established comedy schools across Imperial space. Alien children were learning to tell jokes and play pranks, things that would have been serious crimes a year ago. As the Cosmic Chuckle prepared for launch, President Nelson gave a speech at the spaceport. 1 year ago, we thought we faced conquest by an alien empire. Instead, we found friends who simply didn't get our jokes. Today, we begin spreading understanding through shared laughter to other worlds. Former Cadet Zix, now promoted to captain despite his famous spill, commanded the honor guard. When he accidentally dropped his ceremonial staff during the ceremony, instead of panic, everyone, aliens and humans alike, laughed good-naturedly. I meant to do that, Captain Zix said, using the human phrase he had learned. On the main Imperial homeworld, Emperor Kilvik had made dramatic changes. The rigid case system based on nostril size was gone. Aliens of all species could now rise to any position based on their abilities and their sense of humor. When the Emperor spoke to his council now, he told a joke first. The strange whistling hiccup sound of alien laughter now filled the halls where once only serious silence was allowed. The humans have given us something more valuable than all the milk in the galaxy, the Emperor told his advisors. They have shown us that imperfection can bring joy rather than shame. As the Cosmic Chuckle launched into space, Admiral Martinez looked at her mixed human-alien crew. Our mission is to find new civilizations and offer them friendship, she announced. And to teach them to laugh, asked Commander Zixvala. That too, she agreed with a smile. On Earth, children played with small toys shaped like aliens with cone hats. In alien schools, young aliens practiced human jokes. Why did the chicken cross the road? They asked each other, still not fully understanding why it was funny, but laughing anyway. The galaxy was changing, one laugh at a time. As the Cosmic Chuckle disappeared into hyperspace, Betty Howard was teaching a class of young aliens. The most important thing humans have learned, she told them, is that you can either fear what's different, or you can find the funny side of it. A small alien raised one of its 6 hands. Is that why the chicken crossed the road? To find what was different. Betty smiled. Maybe that's a better punchline after all.